Hey guys, CoffinSkate here with another game collection update for you guys. This is game collection update number 10. Um, and again, not like a huge amount of games here, but got some pretty solid stuff and some more Vita stuff, so stay tuned for that. So let's get started here. So first off, the first sort of like 10 plus games here are from when I took a trip to Michigan a couple of weeks ago. Probably like about a month by now. Not gonna get into the reasons why I was up there, mainly just family reasons, but I also hadn't been to Michigan in a while. I moved down here to Kansas, and also that was a big mistake, but that's a whole different can of worms. But yeah, so I picked up some really cool stuff while I was up there. Obviously, mainly in the way of video games, but yeah. So starting off with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale for the Vita. I know, great start here. So I picked this up from a game store in. No, it wasn't a game store. It's a card shop in like the Kalamazoo area. Those of you who live in Michigan will probably know which one I'm talking about. It's a shop called Fanfare, and they also sell video games. Granted, their selection of video games isn't huge, but they have. I've seen some pretty cool stuff while I was there. Throughout all the times I've been there, I picked up some cool stuff from there, like that's where I got my copy of Dragon Quest IX for the DS, and was it Pokemon Crystal? Had a dead save battery, but hey, $10 for it is like a steal nowadays. But anyways, so this is like 15 bucks. I already have this digitally because this was a game that I actually rented for the PS3 many years ago. And this is one of those games where the physical PS3 game disc would also get you the digital version of the game on Vita. And this is one of those games. So I wanted to have a physical copy so I didn't have to have 3 gigabytes worth of data allocated to just this game. And I only have like 16 gigabyte memory card for my Vita. I would like to upgrade that to a 32 gigabyte at least at some point, but that's besides the point. But it's not a bad game by any means, but it's definitely not as good as Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers just has a sense of simplicity, whereas this game it's a little more. I shouldn't say a little more complex than Smash, but I don't know. I couldn't really tell you because I haven't played this nearly as much as Smash Brothers, but I've played this quite a bit. It's like I said, it's a fun game, but nowhere near as good as Smash Brothers. This concept for a fighting game having just all these PlayStation mascots and whatnot, all these famous PlayStation characters, is a great idea. But honestly, this is kind of a poor execution of it. I think. Hear me out for a second. I think a PlayStation All-Stars game would be awesome if it played. Make it like a spiritual successor to fucking Power Stone on the Dreamcast. Like, I think that'd actually be really cool. Never played Power Stone, but I've always wanted to, because those games look like a lot of fun. Anyways, went to a actual game store called Second Chance. Great store. I've gotten great deals from them over the years. Just all the times I've been there. And I grabbed 2 games, starting off Resident Evil Village for the PS5. I already have this sort of upgrade for the PS4 going to PS5. I already have the upgrade for it, but just wanted the physical copy because, I prefer physical over digital. This is a great game. I really like Resident Evil Village. It's not my favorite, and it's not as good as 7, but I still really like this game. It kind of brought me back to, like, Resident Evil 4, or Resident Evil 4. So, really funny to think about that, because, we have a remake of Resident Evil 4 now, but yeah, it's kind of brought me back to like Resident Evil 4, like how I had the, obviously the village and whatnot, but there was also like the castle area and whatnot. It really just brought me back to playing Resident Evil 4 back in the day on like the Wii. So, but yeah, this is a great game. I want to say I paid like $15 for it, maybe more than that. I still have the receipt in here. I paid $18 for it, so yeah, Resident Evil Village for the PS5. Next, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles for the PS3. So this HD collection of both the Tales games, or both of the Tales of Symphonia games. So the original GameCube game, and then the Wii game. What was it called? Dawn of the New World. So I had to grab this because this game, out of nowhere, no warning whatsoever, was delisted from the PlayStation Store on the PS3. And so I was like, you know what, let me just grab this, so I don't have to worry about paying well over like 50, like, pay like a bit of a lot for this game. So, um, but yeah, I've always wanted to play the Symphonia games in particular. I've heard these are like some of the best ones, so can't wait to try that out. Alright, next I went to GameStop. I picked up like 4 games. I went to GameStop with a friend, and they were apparently having a buy 2 get 1 free sale. But I also picked up so I picked up 4 games. So first game, might as well just get this out of the way. Forspoken for PS5. This is like $20. Honestly, I was willing to pay $20 for this. I didn't want to pay the full $70 for this game because at the time I was not impressed by the demo. And also, I thought the dialogue in this game was really cringy. So, I got it. I did play a little bit of it. The combat is actually better than I remember it being, but the dialogue is not that great. But I do intend on actually playing more of this at some point. Just I'm playing many other games right now. I'm still trying to finish up Persona 3 Reloaded. I know the game's been out for like 3 months, but no pun intended. But yeah. Next, I picked up Dodgeball Academia for $8, I want to say. So this game I found out recently was on PlayStation Plus. Like I found out a few weeks ago prior to my trip that this game was on PlayStation Plus. And you know what? My friend pointed this out to me, saying it was really cheap. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What? Might as well. So I found out about this game from a video from Radical Reggie. He brought this game up in a pickups video. I don't remember if it was on his channel or a pickups video on Metal Jesus Rocks' channel, but that's besides the point. Yeah, if you're not familiar with this is a dodgeball RPG. And, I played a little bit of it. The combat seems quite fun. And it's literally that, just dodgeball. But, yeah, there's stats, you can level up and whatnot and gain new abilities. Seems like a really solid game. There's even a versus mode on it, so definitely want to play more of that. This I had to pick up because I am a huge fan of... I haven't played much of the second one, but I'm a huge fan of the first game here. Hotline Miami. So this is the collection that comes with both games. 2 discs, and this booklet here is kind of like an art book. So, oh yeah, that's another thing that I almost forgot. This actually came with a manual, so which we like to see that. So, anyways, so I had to pick this up because the first game is amazing. I absolutely love the first Hotline Miami. It's one of my favorite indie games of all time. It's so much fun. Such a hard game as well, and such a great soundtrack. If you've not played Hotline Miami, whether you plan on playing it or not, check out the soundtrack at least. It goes so hard. But I had to pick this up. Huge fan of the first game. Again, I haven't beaten the second one yet. But man, these games are great. If you want separate physical copies of these, you can actually get separate physical copies of both of these games. I think they were released through limited run. I'm not sure how much they go for, but I know both these also got their own separate physical copies as well, if you prefer that over having like this bundle pack. But absolutely love the first Hotline Miami, at least. Like I said, I haven't gotten that far into the second one, but man, I had to grab that. And then next, Star Wars Battlefront 2. So this was the free game. It was like $6, but because of the deal, I got it for free. So this, I remember renting this a while back, and I played through the campaign. I didn't really play the multiplayer at the time because, I mean, for one, I didn't have PlayStation Plus at that time, but I did play through the campaign. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed the campaign. I haven't played it in years, so I couldn't really tell you how I feel about it now. But I remember really enjoying the campaign. I thought it was a sort of great follow-up to Episode 6. But for what it's worth, I have played the multiplayer years after it was fully patched and in a much better state. And the multiplayer is actually really fun. The supremacy mode on this is basically like Conquest from the OG Battlefront games on steroids. So yeah, it is still essentially a Battlefield game, or a Battlefield game with a Star Wars skin, but it's actually a really fun game, and I would highly recommend Battlefront 2 for its multiplayer. And there's still a lot of people playing this, so yep. Alright, next I went to Second Chance again, but with my friend. And this is where I started to pick up I picked up a nice handful of Vita games. So starting off, Little Deviants for the PlayStation Vita. So this is $8. Also, just want to mention, I bought like 6 games in this lot here from that visit. They have a policy where you buy 5 items, you get 6th one free. I don't remember what the 6th or what the free item was, but yeah, it can be anything: video games, movies, what have you. So, anyways, so this was a launch title for the Vita. It was also included with like the first edition bundle, which came with obviously the Vita itself, but it came with some AR cards, a case for the Vita, a 4GB card, a 4GB memory card, and obviously a copy of this game. And I figured I'd grab this, maybe play it for a bit, maybe get some trophies. But from my understanding, it's just like a bunch of mini games that kind of show off all the different features of the Vita. I've heard it's not that great, but I figured for $8, I really couldn't complain. Next, I picked up Mod Nation Racers for the Vita. On having racing games, I do like me some arcadey kart racers, so figured why the hell not. Unfortunately, this game does not have online, but the game has been out for like 10 years now, so I wouldn't be surprised if no one is playing this. But I feel like this game would have benefited from having an online multiplayer mode, but it is what it is. I did play a little bit. It seems like a fun game. I do like the feel of Mario Kart a hell of a lot more, obviously, because I've played Mario Kart basically all my life. So I like the feel of Mario Kart more, but this is still kind of fun when I played it. So it's basically Mario Kart, but get to customize your own character, customize your kart, and make tracks. So think a mixture of Mario Kart and like Trackmania. Alright, next, I want to say this is the most expensive game there. Dragon's Crown for the Vita. Sorry, most expensive game I purchased. It was like a $25 game. Way cheaper than I remember it being. I could have sworn, I thought this was like a $50, $60 game on Vita, but I guess I'm wrong. Maybe it came down, maybe it was that much at one point, maybe it came down, I can't remember, but I could have sworn I thought this was an expensive game for the Vita, but anyway, suppose you've never heard of this. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up RPG that has like a very striking art style. It's done by Vanillaware, who's done games like Odin Sphere, and the most recent game they put out was 13 Sentinels. Actually, no, the most recent game they put out was Unicorn Overlord, which I heard really good things about. So I figured why the hell not? Why not pick this up? I have it on the PS3, but I thought it'd be cool to play it on the Vita as well. So it also has crossplay between all the different versions. So and if you are interested in that game is also on PlayStation 4. Yeah, it's currently on PlayStation Plus. So if you haven't played it yet, it seems like something you'd be into, I'd definitely check it out. I did play it a little bit. It seems like a fun game. All the characters kind of play like fighting game characters, if it makes any sort of sense. Like all of them have like different moves and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyways, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus for the PS5. I don't remember how much this was, but this game, I already had it on the PS4, but wanted a physical copy for the PS5. I'm trying to get as many of the PS4 games that I have. I'm trying to get the PS5 versions for any of the PS4 games I have a PS5 version. So, and I have physical for it. And this being one of them. I remember playing this on a PC back in the year it came out in like 2017. This was such a huge shock, but I really enjoyed it. This is such an incredible game. I can't recommend this to everybody though, because like if you suffer from any sort of mental illness or anything, I I wouldn't say I wouldn't recommend this, but I would say kind of do your own research before you play this, because this game might be triggering for some people. I'm not gonna go into it because it would be going into spoilers, but it's not everyone's gonna be able to play this, so for mental health reasons and stuff like that. But it is a fantastic game. I will also say this is also coming from someone who does suffer with depression and anxiety. But point being, this game, it's a great game. But I can't recommend it to everybody. So, but at the same time, if it does seem like it's a solid visual novel, but it's, let me just say the M rating is there for a reason. So, yeah, it's a really good game. Resident Evil 6. This was, I want to say, the cheapest game. I want to say this was the free game. Had to pick it up because I mean Resident Evil 6 is not a good Resident Evil game, but it's honestly not bad as an action game. It's actually a really fun action game, but it's not a good Resident Evil game by any stretch of the imagination. It's also a Resident Evil game I've not finished, and I plan on doing that. I plan on finishing this game up, the PS4 version of this year. I want to finish all the mainline Resident Evil games this year, but I really, I had to pick this up because Resident Evil is my favorite horror franchise, and I figured, why not another game to add to the collection for Resident Evil. And then next I hadn't picked up a PS3 RPG in a while, well, aside from Tales of Symphonia. Aside from that, I hadn't really picked up any PS3 RPGs in a while, so I also picked up Atelier Tori, the Adventurer of Arland. So this is the second game in the Arland trilogy. I haven't played any of the Atelier games, and figured why not pick this up. I want to grab the other Atelier games, especially the ones on the PS4, but those ones have gotten so expensive now. Even some of the ones that have gotten reprints thanks to VGP.com, yeah, even those have gotten kind of expensive, so. But yeah, Atelier Tori, been meaning to get into the series. I have Verona as well on the PS3, I just haven't got around to playing it yet, so. But I think this is the one, because there was one other Atelier game. I want to say it was Atelier Chalet, or Chalet. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but there was one other Atelier game that was, I want to say that one was 30. I want to say this was the one that was 23. So, but yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. So, yeah, that's it for the games I got while I was on vacation. But when I got back from vacation, this showed up in the mail, Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360. So, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who have been living under a rock, the Xbox 360 Marketplace is shutting down in late July. So, the digital storefront for that console is getting shut down, and after a certain date, you won't be able to buy games from it. All the digital games you have, you will be able to download, but you won't be able to purchase any more games through that store. And so whatever games are not backwards compatible, you won't be able to buy those. Games that are backwards compatible with the Xbox One and the Series X, you'll be able to buy those on their respective storefronts on the Xbox One or Series X or S. Or you can buy them on the Xbox Live Marketplace online on the website. So I'm not particularly worried about those, but I'm more trying to focus on the ones that are not backwards compatible. However, this one is backwards compatible, but I just wanted to get a physical copy before this game became absurdly expensive. This is one of the main ones I wanted to pick up because I heard it was such a great RPG. And I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I've heard really good things about this. I've heard some people say this should have been Final Fantasy 13. I can't agree or disagree because I've not played it, but I've heard really good things about it, and look forward to trying it out. And this is also a complete copy. All 4 discs are there, so. But yeah. Also, shout out to the seller for putting a piece of bubble wrap in there to keep the games from shifting around, or the game discs from shifting around. But yeah. Alright, next is Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate for the PS5. And I know what you guys are thinking, Josh, what the fuck? That's a PEGI rating right there. Yes, I had to import the UK version of this game, or the European version of the game. Why is that? For those of you who haven't been keeping up with the price of the US version, the price of that has gone up tenfold. Like, I don't know what the hell happened with this game when it came to the North American release, but just out of nowhere, the North American version of Remake Integrate is now $150 to $200. This is much cheaper than that. If you want to have a physical copy of 7 Remake for the PS5, the UK version is the much cheaper alternative. You can find this for like $30, $40 currently for the time being. So if you want a physical copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, I would say just say screw it and just go the UK route. It's much cheaper if you don't want to pay $150 to $200 for it. If you're one of those people who has that kind of money lying around, then yeah, you might maybe, I don't know, make your own judgment. But I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money or whatnot. But if you don't want to spend $150 to $200 on a physical copy for the PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can find the UK version for much cheaper. I don't remember how much I paid for this, but luckily I did buy this used, but the code still worked. I have a UK PSN account, so I was able to redeem the code, and the code actually works. So, yeah, luckily, I would prefer if the DLC was on the disc, but, so, but I had to grab this so I could have a physical copy of 7 Remake Integrate. Yeah, it's not the US version, but I'll take importing it and having a copy of it than not having a copy of it at all for the PS5. So want to have a physical copy of it. I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's a fantastic RPG. Little fun fact, by the way, if you do decide to go this route, this has a separate trophy list compared to the US version. So if you wanted to, you platinum this game twice, if you so choose. But just something to point out. And there's also a trophy list for the Japanese version of Remake Integrate as well. So, a little fun fact for you. So, but because I have like the upgrade for the US version, and I intend on platinuming the PS4 version first, I could basically platinum this game 3 times right now. So, at this current point in time, but I'm not in a huge rush to do that. I'm not planning on playing through the game and doing a full playthrough again anytime soon. But I'm happy to have that now. Alright, next, Sea of Stars for the PS5. Now, I gotta be honest, I have not played this yet. But I picked this up because, figure I'd pick up a physical copy. This also came with a poster. A double-sided poster. Which has some really beautiful artwork on it. Here you go. So, yeah, I was, what? I figured, why the hell not, it just came, I actually forgot that this physical copy was coming out, and I figured, what, why the hell not, might as well just grab it. I still haven't played it yet, but I've heard really good things about it. I do really want to check that out, because it's very influenced by classic JRPGs, especially Chrono Trigger. I don't know if it's like that in terms of story as well, but I don't know. From what I could tell in terms of like the combat and stuff like that, it's very influenced by Chrono Trigger. Alright, next, picked up Gravity Rush for the Vita. Now, this is another game that's actually gotten really expensive. I did not pay $100 for this. I paid way less than that. I paid like half that. Like a little less than half of that. But I really want to have a physical copy of this game for the Vita. I already have it on the PS4, but digitally. The physical copy of the remastered version has also gotten really expensive, unfortunately. Gravity Rush 2 is also getting kind of expensive, but still like around the $40, $50 range. But really want to get Gravity Rush for the Vita. This was the reason why I wanted a Vita at the time. I remember seeing this and playing a demo of it at a GameStop. Oh, this is so cool. A sort of open world 3D platformer with some RPG elements that involves gravity. Like, you can shift around the world, and I think the box art really does a great job at telling you all you need to know, how the character's just standing sideways and all that shit. But I played this a little bit. It's actually way more fun than I remember it being. I remember playing it at first. I remember enjoying it when I played the demo of it, but then I played the remastered version of it. Like, I rented it, and then later bought the digital version. And I thought, this is fun, but I don't know. I kind of got sidetracked with other stuff, and at the time I didn't really think it was as fun as I remember it being. But then picking up the Vita version, I'm like, wow, this is actually a lot more fun than I remember it being. So definitely plan on playing more of this. It's quite fun from what I played of it. Alright, next, Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock for the Xbox 360. So, here's the thing, I already own this game. Already owned it. Quick drink break. So yeah, already owned a copy of Guitar Hero 3 for the Xbox 360. However, let me show you the condition of my game case. So, yeah, it's all cracked and shit. The box art is ripped, and it's also like fucked up on the top. So, and I'm not sure how well it'll show up on camera, but yeah, it's also got quite a lot of scratches. I've had issues with the game loading, so I decided, you know what? And I also need a manual. Honestly, I was like, at that point, I might as well just buy a new copy. So I picked it up. It was like $10, complete with the manual. Yeah, Guitar Hero 3 is also my favorite Guitar Hero out of like all the main games. This game, I've poured hundreds of hours to this game. I played this a lot. It's so much fun. So much fun to go back to. Of course, if you have a PC that can run any Source Engine game, you should be able to just run Clone Hero, and there you go. But I love Guitar Hero 3. This game, it takes me back, back when these kinds of games were massive, and absolutely love this game. The pricing of the Guitar Hero games is also all over the fucking place. Like, for instance, like this game, $10. Aerosmith, I've seen it for like $10, $15 less than that, or somewhere around there. But like then you get to Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, it's like $30. Then you get to Guitar Hero Metallica, and last I checked, that's like a $60, $70 game. So like the pricing of these games is all over the place. But a lot of people are feeling nostalgic, kind of going back to Guitar Hero, really, but I don't blame them. The Guitar Hero series is great, but happy to have a much better conditioned copy of that game. So, and lastly for the video games, I picked up an original Xbox game recently. I had some trading credit at a local GameStop a local game store, and I was like, let me grab this, especially by the fact that I've seen this going for like way more than I remember it being. So I picked up Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 for the original Xbox. I found out the hard way that this game is not compatible on a 360, and I do not have an original Xbox. At least I can say is, the game disc is in really good condition. And my Xbox was able to recognize what game it was. So at least I could say is that it, the game, popped up on the XMB, and my 360 recognized what game it was. So I think that's at least like a close indication of knowing that the game works. But that being said, I didn't intend on, I fully intended on playing this because, I played Phantasy Star Online 2 on the PS4, and I really enjoyed what I played of that. And I love Phantasy Star Nova from what I played of that on the Vita, so I really wanted to go back and give this game another shot, because I owned it on the GameCube years ago, traded it in like an idiot, but, that was at a time where I had to sell games to get games, like what Mystic says. Figured been wanting to give this game another shot. Maybe I would probably enjoy it now. Yeah, Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2. This is actually it's much cheaper to get it on the Xbox than on the GameCube. So, you know, can't wait to give this game another shot when I'm able to play it. So, because of course it's not compatible with the 360. So, I also have one other original Xbox game that won't work on a 360, Castlevania Curse of Darkness. So, I have two games to that give me a reason to buy an original Xbox. So yeah. Alright, next, got two things that are not video games. One of them is video game related, though. That is the art book for Final Fantasy 16. I saw we had this in stock at, where I work. It was on sale, and I had to grab it because for those of you who've watched my favorite games of 2023 video, spoilers for if you haven't watched it, this was my game of the year, if I'm being honest. I absolutely loved this game. Thanks to the DLC coming out, I've put 200 hours to this game. I absolutely loved this game. It is so good. So I understand some of the gripes people have with this game, but the things this game did right just made those feel like nitpicks to me. Like this game, I absolutely love this game a hell of a lot, and the DLC was fantastic as well. I had to grab the art book because, man, the character designs in this game are so good. So I'm not gonna flip through it because I don't want to spoil this game for anyone, but I had to grab the art book because, man, this game was so good, and the artwork for this game is unbelievable. So, yeah, happy to have that. I wanted to get it when it came out, but unless it was around the time when, I don't know, but I had to grab that art book because I love that game a hell of a lot. Alright, and lastly, so I had no idea this existed until one of my siblings was out, and they were out and about with one of our friends, and I don't know why that's ruled. Anyways, they were out and about, and they sent me a picture, and that picture was for this, the soundtrack to Chainsaw Man on vinyl. I had no idea this existed. And so I was like, you know what, I gotta grab that, because, well, I've only watched the first episode of the anime, I know, fucking blasphemy. I'm fully caught up on the manga, and the manga is awesome. Chainsaw Man is a badass manga, and I definitely plan on watching the anime, especially the dub. I've seen clips of the dub, and it is hilarious. But yeah, I don't know, I'm assuming this is the full soundtrack, because it's a total of, 49 tracks. I would assume it's the full soundtrack. I don't know, just an assumption, but it's also a special limited edition vinyl, in that the both discs, if I can get it out, both discs are this really cool sort of red and black design. So, and this is dope as hell. So, yeah, fuck that bitch. By the way, she can go to hell. Yeah. So, had to. I was working at the time, so it was like, hey, if I send you the money, would you buy this for me? And so they happily obliged. So, and the other disc has the same design as well. Put this back in safely. And oh yeah, there's also this little art thing. Pull it out. Little art thing. So that's really cool. There we go. But yeah, had to get this. I mean, I love Chainsaw Man. The manga is so good. Like I said, I haven't watched much of the anime, but man, it's, I've seen like some of the animations and stuff, and god damn, is it so good. So I'll figure it out later. But yeah, I had to grab the soundtrack. From what I've heard, the soundtrack slaps as well. So there you have it. That is game collection update number 10. I do have like I do have one other game that's supposed to show up, but honestly, at this point, I have had a good selection of games, a good amount of games piled up here. I figured it would be good enough for a game collection update. But yeah, the other game that's supposed to show up is like Sword Art Online Lost Song for the Vita, and I'm supposed to be getting the Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition for the PS5 at some point in the next few weeks. I don't know when it's, there's no confirmed date. All I know is that's supposed to arrive sometime like later this month, if not early next month. So, expect an unboxing of that. So, but there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what games you guys picked up, or anything that's really cool that you guys picked up. Let me know in the comment section below. So, anyways, I'm CoffinSkate signing off. Subscribe for more content, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.